Hey everyone, it's Aubrey in Wonderland, and today is October 4th, 2016. I cannot believe it's October already. I'm so excited. I love this time of year. So last week I had come to you with a 3.5 pound gain. So I'll let you know like where I started from and all of that, because I gotta do the whole routine. On March 22nd, 2016, I had Roux-en-Y gastric bypass surgery here in Bend, Oregon with Dr. Archer. My highest weight was 288. My surgery weight was 255. And last week on week 27, I was 186.5, and that had been a 3.5 pound gain in 1 week. This morning I weighed in again. That 3.5 pound gain stayed pretty tried and true all week long. It wasn't just a fluke, just a one-day thing. I had been up at that 3.5 pound gain for a few days before my official weigh-in, and then it stayed that way all week long, and it kind of just fluctuated a few ounces here and there. This morning when I got up and weighed in, because it's Tuesday, I was 183 exactly. So that means I lost that 3.5 pounds. I am down now at exactly what I was on week 26, and this is week 28. If anybody's curious, at 183, I am 5'6" tall. Okay, so this week I had a pretty major reality check because I did have that 3.5 pound gain. I had just hit my 6-month mark a couple of weeks ago, and a lot of people will tell you, oh yeah, that 6-month mark, you majorly the weight loss really slows down. And so I was already nervous about that, and then I had the gain, and it wasn't immediately coming down again, and I just had a lot of irrational fears about whether or not I was going to continue to lose weight at all, whether trying or not. I just had a lot of thoughts about like, well, what if this is it for me? What if I don't lose anymore? What if I do gain, and what's going to happen if I continue to gain? And ironically, it actually caused a little bit of a behavior spiral for me as far as my food choices and my outlook. It just really affected me. I was already feeling down in the dumps, which I've talked about in the past couple of videos. And so it just kind of compounded that. I became committed to getting back on track, but mentally I was committed to it, but I kept putting it off. Like, oh, tomorrow I'm going to get back on track. Oh, and then it's tomorrow, and oh, I really got to get back on track. And I really recognized some of those patterns from my previous pre-op life. So I just kind of recognized some of those behaviors and thought patterns from my previous mindset. And I'm trying to get out of that mindset. I decided yesterday that it was time for me to start tracking my food again and actually pre-planning my food. So last night, while my husband and I were just kind of sitting around watching TV, killing time or whatever, I got on my FitnessPal and just started putting in what I was planning to eat today, which was actually kind of nice because I could think about, okay, what did I eat today? What should I have really eaten? What do I have? What do I need? And what do I need to do to be prepared for those meals tomorrow? So I was able to think through what I really wanted, and I put in my choices, and then the calories were a little high, so I went, oh, I could cut out the cream cheese on this, and so I did, and it really helped me a lot. And then I proved myself right, because I got up this morning, and when I sat up in bed, I was going, oh, that's right, I gotta eat breakfast. What do I want? And my mind was just total blank. Like, what am I gonna make for lunch? What am I gonna eat for breakfast? I had no idea. And then I remembered that I had entered everything in, and so all I had to do was open up my app and follow what I had set up for myself the previous day. So I did that. Also, instead of just kind of like nutritionally letting my day just happen to me, it allowed me to look at my whole day of what I had planned and go, oh, my protein's a little low, so what can I do? So I thought, okay, well, I can cut this, which is kind of low in protein, and substitute it with that, which is high in protein. And so because of that, I am on track to meet my protein goals today. So that was really helpful. Maybe it'll help you. I also found out this week, my labs came back from my 6-month checkup, and they didn't do the full line of labs, like the iron and all that kind of stuff. They just did like the protein levels and the A, B, and C vitamins or something like that. Maybe someone can remind me what that panel is that they usually do at 6 months. My vitamin C was okay, but my protein levels were really low, and my vitamin A levels are very deficient, which I was reading on that, and that can bother the retinol levels, that can bother your eyesight. I've also been noticing some symptoms lately that tell me that my iron levels are probably pretty low. So that would be tingling in the arms and legs, pale. I don't know if you've noticed in my coloring recently, it's not as obvious because I do wear makeup and contouring or whatever, powder that has the bronzer. That's the word I'm trying to think of. I wear bronzer and powder that has a little bit of color to it. So even if I don't have that color when I wake up in the morning, I at least give myself some. So it's not always obvious to everyone, but it's obvious to me. I'm very pale. I've been extremely weak. A couple of things have happened where I'll take a water bottle, just a regular water bottle, and I'll have to ask my husband to open it for me. So my grip has been really, really weak. I've just been exhausted. My energy levels, by about 5 or 6 in the evening, I can barely keep my eyes open. I'm so tired, and I just want to be on the couch. And it reminds me so much of my previous obese life. It reminds me so much of how I felt prior to my surgery. So I think that those are indications that my iron is getting too low. My water intake has also been piss poor. Name it, and I've been failing at it, basically, is how I feel. So I'm trying to be, make sure that I do something about it, and not just feel sad and woe is me and whatever. So I'm trying to be proactive again and do what I gotta do. I'm excited to see that 3.5 pounds gone. I'm excited to make more progress. My next goal is to see the 170s, is what I'm hoping to do. But in the meantime, I've been really, really great about my vitamins, my iron, my additional iron supplements, my calcium, my water, my protein. I'm trying to be really, really good. And see if I can avoid an iron infusion or something like that. So, I guess that's it. I don't really have much else I want to talk about at the moment. I just wanted to give you guys an update. Another thing. I went to the gynecologist, and it was just time for a regular checkup. And I talked a lot about my moodiness and my sex drive and how that's been a problem. And he actually put me on the pill, which I haven't been on for 10 years because I had my tubes tied 10 years ago. But he said that a lot of what I'm experiencing can be helped by regulating my estrogen levels. And it's at least a step in the right direction, and it may help me. He hesitated to put me on a medication like a depression medication because he says a lot of times, you know, it can cause I can't talk today. It can cause weight gain, and it can kind of exacerbate some of the symptoms I'm having, the sex drive, things like that. And he said he'd rather see if he can help the root cause, which he said a lot of times when someone's going through a major weight loss like what I'm doing, the estrogen levels just plummet. And so he's going to help me try and regulate that a little bit conservatively, and we'll see how it goes. I'm wondering if any of you have had experience with that, if it was helpful to you, if it did absolutely nothing, whatever you have to say, it's fine. Please share. Last thing is this week I had to change my Facebook profile. Facebook found me out and said I couldn't use my Aubrey in Wonderland name anymore. I had to switch it to my regular name. So I did, and oh my gosh, everybody's freaking out about it. I've gotten texts and phone calls and everything else like, is that your personal Facebook page now? Did you mean to post that on there? And but from more than one person. And yes, it's not my personal Facebook page. It's still my Aubrey in Wonderland Facebook page. And you can tell that now because I changed my profile picture to a picture from Alice in Wonderland. It at least makes it more identifiable as Aubrey in Wonderland. So I put on there my troubles about my vitamin levels and how I was feeling regretful that I hadn't been better about my vitamins and what my doctor had said or what the lab results were. And someone was kind enough to inform me on there that I can either get better at taking my vitamins or I can fall apart and die. So thank you. That was super helpful. So yeah, this week I'll be working on, just like I have been, my water intake, my protein intake, being really good at my vitamins, and not falling apart and dying. Okay,